Welcome back to the channel, my name's Shan. So with the energy price cap falling and fixed tariffs being waved under our noses, should you take this opportunity to fix in at a lower price or keep calm and carry on a variable tariff? In this video I'll crunch some numbers on a spreadsheet using our household consumption data to make an educated guess of whether I stick on a variable tariff or move on to a fixed tariff. Why, and some things to consider for both options. I'm currently on the Octopus tracker tariff for gas. More on this if you're not familiar with it in a moment. If you've seen some of my previous videos, you'll know we have solar, a battery and a plug-in hybrid vehicle, and so our electricity tariff isn't on the tracker tariff. But there's no reason why you can't use the spreadsheet for your electricity data like I'm going to do with my gas figures. I'll make the spreadsheet available for you to download and play around with your own numbers when you subscribe for free. Sound good? Let's jump into it. Firstly, it's useful to know why we're talking about it again. The price cap is the limit on what suppliers can charge domestic consumers per kilowatt hour of energy used, known as the unit rate, and the limit on the standing charge, pence per day, which covers the cost of supplying energy to your home. The cap changes on a quarterly basis, Q1 to Q4. At the start of October 2023, a new price cap came into play, which is lower than the previous one and significantly lower than the one we saw last winter. So that's the good news. However, analysts at Cornwall Insight have suggested that prices could rise again in January, prompting the question of whether it's worth switching onto a fixed energy deal now. So using this spreadsheet, I'm going to make an educated prediction of what my annual cost might look like and decide whether I'm going to stay on the tracker tariff or jump onto a fixed deal, and why. And if you're thinking of joining Octopus Energy, don't forget our offer of an extra £20 from us on top of the £50 credit you'll get from Octopus Energy when you sign up via the link in the video description box below or by clicking on this text here in the spreadsheet. For context, we're a family of 6, 2 adults and 4 kids, living in a 5-bedroom detached house in the northeast of England. We have gas central heating with an aging conventional boiler and an unvented hot water tank which is predominantly heated by gas, but does have a couple of electric immersions as an alternative heat source. You can see on the left hand side of the spreadsheet I've got the Octopus tracker. For those of you who aren't familiar with the tracker tariff, I'll quickly explain. The tracker tariff has been around for several years and the unit price of gas and electricity changes daily to reflect wholesale prices. You usually get to find out this rate the day before, and it varies which region of the country you're in. In the summer when the weather is warmer, unit prices will be cheaper and then increase in the winter when the colder weather sets in. If you're a returning viewer, you'll know that I've also been on the tracker tariff for gas only back in 2019 and early 2020. When unit rates were as low as under 2p per kilowatt hour. A lot has certainly changed since then. The tracker tariff now has a price cap, but note this isn't the same as the off-gem energy price cap. So currently the max daily price for electricity sits at a lofty 100 pence per kilowatt hour and 30 pence per kilowatt hour for gas. You also didn't need to have a working smart meter for the tracker tariff, but you do now, and this can be installed by Octopus for free. But it isn't all doom and gloom. When wholesale prices dropped but price cap rates were still high earlier this year, loads of people flocked to get on the tracker tariff. This resulted in Octopus initiating a waiting list to get onto the tracker, allowing only 50 customers to join each day, and as I said a moment ago, making a smart meter a mandatory requirement. We were on the waiting list for around 3 to 4 months before we could get back onto the tracker tariff. As I understand it though, this waiting list has since been removed. So if you didn't already, you now know a bit more about the tracker tariff, and this will help understand how I'm going to run the numbers. On the left you can see I've already entered my annual month by month consumption. This can be found on your monthly statements, your online account or app. This is a great time to tell you about something we did a few years ago and wish we'd done much earlier. And that was to install a smart thermostat with smart TRVs from Tado, who are the sponsors of today's video. We used to have a dumb heating system where if we were cold we'd essentially have to turn on the whole house, which was hugely inefficient. Likewise, if we went out and forgot to turn off the programmer, the heating would come on and there was nothing that we could do about it. Tado solved those issues. The clean, modern Tado devices were easy to install, following the walkthrough guide specific for our existing boiler and programmer. Once installed, we could easily set the smart schedule for each room to fit with our family's routines and preferences. And we've learnt a lot about our house and each room from the app data, like how cold our living room gets in the winter, and we've made more changes as a result. Since installing our Tado devices, we've reduced our annual gas consumption by around 3,000 kilowatt hours, and I'd recommend checking out Tado's products via the links in the video description box below. And if you're not satisfied, they even have a money back guarantee. Thanks again to Tado for sponsoring this video, and to all of you for supporting the channel. Next we have the unit price per kilowatt hour of gas. As I said a moment ago, this unit price changes every day, so I've extracted the historical monthly price averages from this excellent website, Energy Stats UK, link in the description. You'll note we're currently in October, so for the remaining data I've used the October to December 2022 unit price data for these months. The standing charge is next and is charged for each day in that month, i.e. 31 days for January, 28 for February, 31 for March, and so on. And again, these standing charge figures can be found on your online account. Once all these cells are complete, the spreadsheet will automatically generate the total monthly costs at the end of the table, and the total yearly consumption data in kilowatt hours, annual costs for the standing charge only, and the total energy bill including the standing charge at the bottom. Furthermore, the average monthly kilowatt hour consumption, standing charge, and total monthly cost including the standing charge can be seen here, with the average daily kilowatt hour consumption, average price per kilowatt hour, daily standing charge, and daily total cost including standing charge just beneath it. But before we look at the final numbers for the tracker tariff, we'll populate these fixed tariff cells on the right. At the time of making this video, around the middle of October 2023, you can see that the quoted unit rate for gas on the Loyal Octopus 12-month fixed is 6.82p per kilowatt hour, with a daily standing charge of 27.47p per day. You'll also notice that there's a £75 early exit fee for either changing tariffs or supplier, which needs to be taken into consideration. It's worth noting that this is different to the flexible Octopus tariff, which is a variable tariff and the prices can rise and fall with wholesale prices. But there are no exit fees with this tariff. And just in case you think I'm being Octopus Energy centric, then a quick search on Uswitch shows that the only offering is the So Energy fixed tariff, where both the unit rate and standing charge are higher than the Loyal Octopus 12-month fixed. Okay, so let's pull through those Loyal Octopus 12-month fixed numbers into our spreadsheet. 6.82p per kilowatt hour each month for the next 12 months, and 27.47p per day for the next 12 months. Perfect. Okay, so now that we've entered the figures for both the tracker and fixed tariff, we can compare the numbers and discuss the options. And before that, if you're getting some benefit from this video, then please do like and subscribe to the channel. It really does help reach other people too, and reminds me that you're getting some value out of these videos. Thank you in advance. You can see that the total energy bill, including the standing charge, is £31.59 cheaper on the Octopus tracker tariff compared to the fixed tariff. You'll notice that even though tracker rates on the left include prices from winter 2022-23, when wholesale gas prices soared, the overall price per kilowatt hour of gas over the year works out at 6.63p per kilowatt hour, lower than the fixed offerings of 6.82p per kilowatt hour. You might sensibly ask, can you mix and match these tariffs? So just to be clear, this would be switching onto the fixed tariff for winter when the rates are typically higher on the tracker tariff, and then back onto the tracker tariff when rates are typically lower in the summer months. That really would be a great idea, especially as there are no exit fees for the Octopus tracker tariff. However, Octopus are already one step ahead of the game, and in their terms and conditions they outline that after leaving you'll need to wait 9 months before switching back to tracker, putting an end to that plan. So which might be the best tariff for you? Remember, this isn't advice, but through my worked out example I can offer a perspective and discuss the issues. A fixed rate deal isn't all bad. If you're someone who wants to know what you'll be paying so you can budget each month or can't pay over a certain amount no matter what, then a fixed rate could really be useful for you and save a lot of stress and anxiety should the rates go up on the variable tariff. On the flip side, should rates go down, you could end up paying more than you need to. Despite the current difficulties in the world and events which threaten to increase wholesale gas prices, I suspect this winter won't spike to what they did last year. I'm under no illusion that wholesale gas prices will rise going into winter as the weather gets colder, but that was always going to be expected. If you're concerned about rising unit rates on the tracker, it's difficult not to check the wholesale prices every day. However, it's sensible to look at the bigger picture. The tracker over the year should be cheaper than any current fixed deal offerings, depending on your consumption data, but obviously no one has that crystal ball. After running my numbers and appreciating the risks, I'm going to be sticking with the tracker tariff for the foreseeable. But I do have some strategies in place to reduce our gas consumption should wholesale prices rise. Reducing our consumption means we pay less, and there are lots of ways we have done that, whether it be installing Tado smart devices, blocking off areas of heat loss, or more recently this year, improving our loft insulation to current building regulations. Video out soon. Furthermore, as I mentioned before, we predominantly heat our hot water via gas throughout the year, and this equates to around 20 kilowatt hours of gas daily. There isn't any reason why we couldn't use some of our excess solar energy or our 9p per kilowatt hour off-peak period on our Octopus Go tariff to power our 2 electric immersions and heat our hot water in that way instead of using gas. Gas versus electricity hot water heating costs is something I'll be looking at in a bit more detail. And if you want to know when that video lands, then please do subscribe to the channel with the notification bell so you don't miss out. If you're really switched on and keen on checking the rates daily, you could even plan ahead, shifting your energy intensive activities to the next day if the price is lower. Having said that, if rates do go too far off track for you, you can request a switch to another tariff, although you may need to wait up to 2 weeks before the switch to your new tariff will complete. So, we'll be sticking with the tracker tariff this winter. But what about you? Let me know in the comments section below your thoughts on what tariff you're considering for the winter and why. It's definitely worth downloading the spreadsheet for free and taking the time to play with your specific numbers. And if you enjoyed this video, I think you enjoyed this video too, and I'll catch you over there. Thanks for watching, see you next time.